Well, that didn't take long. But before I get into this, I need you guys to check up on the Saints Row Reboot defenders. Check if they are okay. Give them the comfort they desperately need right now. Hold them tight. These are troubling times for them. Reassure them that tomorrow is a new day, and they can repent for their wicked ways. Show them the path. Be their guardian angel. Guide them to the light. Guide them to the truth. Because doomsday has fallen on Volition. As the sinners weep and the saints rejoice, remember the sounds of our voice, the voices you tried to silence, but when the smoke cleared, we were the ones left standing. Now, we are here. Not even 6 months after the release of the abomination that was a Saints Row reboot, and Volition has now been demoted to be the side bitch of Gearbox. Embracer Group didn't waste much time yeeting Volition away from the Saints Row IP. Thank God. Saints Row fans deserved better than this. It shouldn't have taken so long for well-known, respected fans to tell the truth about this game. After the reveal trailer dropped, Embracer Group should have put together funeral arrangements. It was clear as day that this modern take on Saints Row was going to go as well as the relaunch of G4. I'm sure those still chewing the boot of Volition will somehow come up with so many excuses for this game, because there must be some conspiracy as to why this has happened to sweet little Volition. After all, they did nothing wrong. The reboot defenders did nothing wrong. It was the OG fans. The toxic fans are to blame for all of this. Anyone with half a brain and one good eye could easily see how the reboot fans behaved. Just look up shitty Saints Row takes. Be careful though, they may dox you. But it won't be hard to determine what's fact and what's fiction. So many of us try to tell you that this reboot was not going to fly with longtime fans, even with newcomers. We were expected to like this reboot no matter what. But the reboot was a broken, cringy mess created by out-of-touch, sensitive buffoons. Just like we said, it's clear that Volition can't handle criticism and will quickly play the victim once things don't go their way. Just like the jack-offs that's been on the front lines for this game. The ones who try to silence us at every turn. Notice how quickly reboot defenders came to people's posts and videos before the game released, and look now, all that talk went away. Notice now, we can give our opinion on the game without these vultures leaking period blood in the comments, refusing to debunk any points made, resorting to labeling us as racist and homophobes. So butthurt we saw this virtual signaling safe space millennial power fantasy garbage from the start. And before you clowns try to call me a homophobe, don't bother. I'm gay, and unlike you, I don't bust a nut whenever these corporations cram in representation as a selling point. Real Saints Row fans know diversity was in the games since the first one, and they didn't have to put subliminal messages in the games and its marketing. Now you can go touch grass with the child groomers at Drag Queen Storytime. So now that Volition will be part of Gearbox, what does that mean for Saints Row? Well, Volition are obligated to finish any planned DLC and roll out any additional patches. After that, then we can only hope Embracer Group allows a competent developer to handle the Saints Row series. If so, it can't be a sequel to the reboot. We all know that it will be another disaster. Best case scenario would be another reboot, this time done right. Or make Saints Row 5, if that's even possible. The epic fail of Volition and the Saints Row reboot should be a reminder to studios and fans. For the studios, this is what not to do when rebooting a franchise. Catering to an audience that never cared about the games before it won't give the results you're looking for. And for the fans, this should show you that you shouldn't kiss up to companies that wouldn't think twice about disrespecting you, or in this case, call you terrorists. You can still be a fan of something and be honest with yourself. You don't have to accept everything companies dish out. It's okay to be cautious about a product. You don't have to trade in your spine for a review code. Real fans call out companies when they do dumb shit. We're not obligated to like everything they do. They're not above criticism. You don't have to fight for them. We support them. They don't support us. They're not gods among us. If you want to feel bad for Volition after all they have done, then go ahead. Just don't forget the lipstick and lube. The rest of us with functioning brains and dignity know how we got here. A bunch of brain-dead dimwits at Volition finally decided to bring back Saints Row since that new IP of theirs shit the bed. But probably according to some 20-year-old video essay expert, it was the misunderstood, hidden gem masterpiece that was Agents of Mayhem that flopped like a fish out of water. Then they brought the Saints Row series back in the form of a reboot. A reboot that looked atrocious, with dated graphics and gameplay, reused assets, laughably bad writing with some of the lamest characters in recent memory. Only chumps who got stuffed in lockers in high school would find these characters appealing. Everything about this game is an absolute joke, and Volition should be embarrassed. If you are really puzzled how Volition got sent packing to Gearbox, I'll help you out. They revealed an unappealing game from a beloved series. After years of getting suggestions and ideas tossed around by fans, they chose to make a millennial power fantasy, suited for a modern day audience in hopes of appealing to everyone but Saints Row fans. The game got delayed for 6 months. When it finally released on a month all to themselves, it still came out with a shit ton of glitches and was quickly forgotten about. The only real publicity the game got was when anyone at Volition acted a fool. One fool being the community manager, Deadly Steph, aka Derpy Steph. And glitches aside, the game still sucked donkey balls. While everyone played other games worth their time, the sad saps joined in a prayer circle waiting for the magical November patch that had a gazillion fixes. All these fixes that somehow couldn't have been implemented in the game during the development or during the 6-month delay. That's modern games for you, right, corporate slaves? It doesn't matter what patch or what DLC they put out for the reboot. You can't polish a turd. There was no saving this shit show. Let Volition be the retarded stepchild of Gearbox. I hope Embracer Group gives Saints Row to a developer that has a fucking clue and shows Volition what a real Saints Row game is. And until then, we will continue to keep it real. People such as Cutthroat Baller, J Rance, Kyle, Game Rewardy, Reborn, King Turk, Real Saint, Dark Shinobi, Kid Stain, Cole Classic Cage, Sizz, Tariq Gamer, Chief Red Star, The Row, Sadell Day, Star Sense, Modern, House Hexagon, and Fleekazoid. The list can go on and on. But you can expect us to not hold back or be persuaded by deep shell collective programs. For Volition, their day of reckoning has come. They thought so many of us would stand with them, fending off valid criticism from fans and accept whatever they put out. But instead, we refused to accept the lousy product they were trying to serve us. We came together as fans. We saw what Volition was trying to do. We fought against the unhinged corporate henchmen. We didn't falter. We stood our ground, refused to allow the mob to silence us. We stood in solidarity and we won. The Saints Row fans won.